So let's introduce our speakers. Kristie Larson is the Strategic Relationship Manager of the DeBruce Foundation, where her focus is on developing strategic, innovative partnerships with stakeholders across the nation. Kristie served 9 years as the Director of Education for the American Royal Association in Kansas City, Missouri. In this role, she oversaw the association's agriculture education programs, outreach initiatives, and scholarships. Kristie currently serves as the association's affiliate and special events coordinator and as the curator of the American Royal Museum. Kristie has dedicated her professional career to the advancement of agriculture education through work in a variety of industry segments, nonprofit, government, and corporate organizations, including the National Pork Board, Iowa Agricultural Development Authority, Heritage Trading Company, and Dairy Farmers of America. Kristie has volunteered on boards including the Missouri Agriculture Foundation, Mizzou CAFNR. I'm sure there's a word for that.
There is, yeah.
Kaffner Alumni Board.
I know, we love us some acronyms.
Mizzou Alumni Board of Kansas City, the Epsilon Mu chapter of Sigma Kappa Housing Corporation Board, and the Visitation of School Ministry team. Kristie has a BS in Agriculture Education and a minor in Agricultural Economics from the University of Missouri. Rebecca Kessler is an education and integration specialist for the DeBruce Foundation. She works to develop resources that allow educators, after-school providers, and other stakeholders to integrate the Agilities into their work. Prior to working with the DeBruce Foundation, Rebecca was an educator working with elementary, middle, and high school students, including self-contained special education students. During her time in education, she was able to work with the coaching environment as an assistive technology coordinator, where she connected students with disabilities to transformative technology to help them access learning. Rebecca connected with educators at local, state, and national conferences to share instructional strategies to improve student outcomes. In her classroom, she implemented the foundation's work with Agilities to empower students to see value in their skills and the ability to their lives for success now and in the future. Rebecca received her bachelor's in elementary education and middle school mathematics from the University of Central Missouri and her master's of education degree in teaching and learning from the University of Missouri. Kristie and Rebecca, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Number one, thank you for hosting us, Sarah. You've always been such a great friend and advocate for the work of the foundation, and we truly, truly appreciate that, and really look forward to this afternoon. And so while I share our screen here, we will get going. Okay, are we ready? I think we are ready now. All right, thank you all for joining us. And I loved, as Sarah began and Rebecca and I could look over all of the tiles of your names. There are names that we recognize. There are names of individuals we work with. So welcome everyone. There's plenty of people on the call today that we don't know yet, maybe don't know about the Agilities, and that's why we're here. And so we are very excited to be part of the programming. And Rebecca and Sarah and I were kind of chuckling as we first got on the call that this is the longest session of the day. So this is 90 minutes, and this is all about activating Agilities to explore your careers and build your networks. And Rebecca and I are here today because we love this. We love the work that we do. We appreciate and respect the work that you do. And we really want to set this up, although it is virtual, although it is 90 minutes, we really do want this to be interactive. We want this to be engaging for you. I've got our agenda up for your review. Number one, why is rural education important to the DeBruce Foundation? We have presented to your groups before, but why is this year's theme really kind of hitting home for us, maybe in a different way? So we want to talk about that. If you're not familiar with the Agilities or the Agile Work Profiler, we're going to talk about that. And if you haven't taken the Agile Work Profiler, we're going to give you some time for taking that assessment as well. We're also going to talk about our employment empowerment study and some of the research and insights that the foundation has done really within the last 14 months of release from our release last year, November of 2022, just last week. So we have research that is literally hot off the press that we want to introduce to you because we think it can help inform some of the work that you do and maybe connect you with additional resources that can help you in your educational adventures as well. And finally, we're going to talk to you about implementation ideas. So certainly we don't want to just go through a lot of research and a lot of insights and send you off to do great work. We want to empower you with different resources and connect you with the work that we're doing here at the foundation to set you up for even greater success. So first, I want to introduce you to Paul DeBruce. I wear his logo. Fabulous man, a product of a rural community in very southwest Kansas, Ulysses, Kansas. So he is absolutely rooted in rural education, in a product of rural education. And so that's why I think this really hits home for our foundation. Paul is an entrepreneur. So he created and was the CEO of DeBruce Grain. And DeBruce Grain was comprised of grain facilities. It was grain trading, grain and oil seed processing facilities, wholesale fertilizer terminals, fertilizer trading, ingredient handling and facilities, and feed ingredient trading. And that was in 75 locations all across the nation and into Mexico. So when you think about the grain business and where his businesses were located, those were all in rural communities. So really helping build economies of rural communities was incredibly important to Paul DeBruce. Upon selling DeBruce Grain, he continues to be an incredible business leader and entrepreneur and very engaged in the foundation. And in 2015, he challenged a group of thought leaders to find and address a challenge for the generations to come. Totally an easy challenge, right? Don't you wish you could have been part of that think tank? And that was our group. That was the foundation's leadership. And really what they came to was, let's answer this call and let's talk about expanding pathways. Let's talk about workforce development and giving people tools and resources to change their trajectory and what the world of work would look like. Okay, I'm gonna try this video again because I swear, my friends, it worked this morning. The video is working, the sound isn't. So we're just gonna try it again. And if it doesn't work, I am happy to send you links to all of these videos. So let's give this a try. And Rebecca and Sarah, you just let me know if it's working.
Yeah, just like before, we can see the images, but we can't hear it.
Well, darn it. I'll tell you what, it's a great video. And it really just talks about the work of the foundation, and it does a fabulous job of really setting up who we are, the work that we do, and why we do that. So happy to send that out. It's also on our website as well. But let's talk about our mission. So like any good non-for-profit, we have our mission statement, and that's expanding pathways to economic growth and opportunity. But what does that really mean, and how do we activate that and live by that day to day? So we develop resources and initiatives to help people plan for, pursue, and to build their careers. So I'm going to ask you a question. As you look at these 10 skill sets, what one or two are you good at and do you like to do? And you are all very capable of reading, so I will let you look at these and think about what one or two skill sets you really like to do and you feel like you're good at them. Okay, do you have those? Sarah and Rebecca, give me a thumbs up if you got them. Okay. So let's talk about the agilities. What are agilities? Our agilities are a group of 10 work activities that are found in different jobs or in different amounts in every job in the economy. And guess what? You and I as individuals, we have all 10 agilities within us in different amounts as well. And the beauty of the agilities is that we can grow and develop these. So our agilities are what we're currently good at and what we like to do. And again, these can change and develop over time. So the agilities in the Agile Work Profiler. Let's look at the white box first. So the work of the foundation, like I said, just began only a few years ago. But what was the team charged with? They were charged with solving a problem for the generations to come. So the group looked at and analyzed information from the US Bureau of Labor and Statistics, data on jobs in over 1,000 different jobs. And it turned out all the jobs use the same 10 groups of work activities, and we call those agilities. So when we talk about agilities, those are work activities, and they're all in different amounts. So you can learn any of them, but you have some that you like best and that you're best at doing. So maybe you're really great at managing, but you don't like to do it. So that's what you can learn, and then what you're best at, what you are best at doing, and what you like the best. So when you look over at the bulleted points, the Agile Work Profiler helps you discover your strengths and passions. It takes approximately 15 minutes to take. It is online. It's research-based and tested, and it's currently free. So you can take that at any point. And spoiler alert, you get to take it today. So I'm very excited to hear about that. I would imagine, given the group that we are speaking to and the topic of education, we have a lot of people on this call and in this session who love assessments and who really like to see, what am I good at? What do I like to do? What is my personality? How do I work best in a group? We love all of that. But what are the advantages of the Agile Work Profiler, and how are we a little bit different than other assessments? So first, like I said, this assessment was developed in 2018 on close to 1,000 different jobs, and it was based on actual work activities that are very evergreen. So if a job name changes, the actual work activities of the job don't change. With other assessments, many of them were developed in the 20s, 40s, 60s, and have been revised since then. But they're more about the expectations of the job activities versus the current work activity. We truly believe this is a life cycle model, and it's ideally taken at any key transition time in your life or professional career. This is really important, and I think all of you in this session understand that if you take this as an 18-year-old, an assessment like this, it's going to look different when you're 21, when you're 25, when you're 35, when you're 45, whatever that is, because you're growing and developing and you have different experiences. Many other assessments are really great, but they're one-time assessments. We believe that you can change and develop over time with experiences and exposure to different work activities. I think all of us know that your career trajectory isn't always point A, straight line to point B, straight line to C. There's a lot of different experiences within that career journey, and you learn and grow from those different experiences all the time. Some of the other assessments are really hone in on your personality, which are usually pretty stagnant. Going back to our mission statement, we want to help people expand their career pathways. My top agility is serving and caring. If I thought that that only meant I was going to be a nurse, then I would be done. This isn't a matching assessment. Yeah, I don't like blood or needles, so I want to see all of the jobs that have serving and caring, and a lot of serving and caring agilities are found in government jobs, which many people probably don't think about, but we really want to help people expand their career pathways. We don't want to limit that by matching. And it's a little less time consuming. There's about 70 questions. Some other assessments have between 80 and 200. Here at the foundation, we talk a lot about the agility advantage. And what is a good education conference without a Venn diagram, in my opinion? So here we go. So this, our agility advantage talks about how we can help create informed career decision makers. So when you think about growth mindset and the fact that you have great value, you have choice, you can learn, when you couple that with market knowledge, that you know occupations, you know the market demand for different jobs, and you have a strong network, and then again with skills mastery. And this is more about the technical information and the tools and the professional information that you have for the jobs and that you're pursuing. So it's our belief that if we can help individuals become aware of their agilities, over here, aware of their agilities, and affirm that those agilities are awesome and that you can get paid for those, then we can help individuals activate those and really put a plan into action and create great results. I have another awesome video that we can't hear, but that's okay. This is going to talk about the value of the Agile Work Profiler, but I do have a slide that speaks to that as well. And I really think about, oops, I skipped too far. When I think about all the slides in a slide deck, if I could just pick out a couple to share with audience members, I would absolutely pick this one. Because when you think about the value proposition of anything, you want to know those bullet points and what that is. And the value proposition and the value that the agilities can bring to individuals is just the knowledge of their skills and how they're used on the job. So when you think about that, you can help, once you know your agilities, it can help translate those skills into work language. It can help you frame those skills and experiences on your resume. So when you're helping students create or refine a resume, it's so important. It can also help you see the skills and experiences and transfer those into different environments. So I'm going to stop for a brief moment and give you a quick story, and Rebecca has probably heard this so many times. My apologies, my friend. But I have middle school age daughters. And after they first took the Agile Work Profiler and were helping with activities, um, they really seemed to get it. But I wasn't really sure how much they understood until after the day after an event that they had helped me with. And we had gone to a restaurant for breakfast, and my younger daughter had gotten the wrong drink. She had ordered some sort of iced decaf latte, something, and it was wrong. And my older daughter said, Ellie, I will take that back to the counter with you. I am very good at selling and communicating. And so she could translate those skills. She had known about the agilities for one day, and she could translate that into a different environment, but she knew it had value and she knew she could help. And I thought that was so powerful because she was 11. Really cool. It can also help you develop the skills to prepare for the future you want. If you really know you want to be an accountant, but maybe working with information or judging and estimating are a little lower on your list, you can get better in those. And I think that's really, really powerful that to know that you can grow and develop. It also helps you speak better to your strengths when you're in an interview. And, you know, we think about that as adults as being an interview for a job, but it could absolutely be a scholarship interview for students, or becoming a class leader or leader in their school organization. And I've heard this word used multiple times today, confidence. I think when people know that they have skills that are valued in the workplace, they are more confident. And building confidence in any way we can for young people and for older people alike, that helps our communities and it helps our world as a whole. So I'm going to stop there for just a moment. And Sarah and Rebecca, I'm going to ask you to check the chat. Are there any questions? Anything like that yet?
Nothing yet.
Okay, that's perfect. We are going to take time now to actually take the Agile Work Profiler. So for my friends online here, you can go to agilities.org, take the Agile Work Profiler. Everything is going to make so much more sense to you once you take this for yourself. And I think you'll see a lot of application for the individuals or groups that you serve. So it is 1:30 right now. So we're going to come back at about 1:45. And what we would love is, as you come back, if you will put your top 3 agilities in the chat. We're just interested to see what type of mix we have today. Okay, so with that, we're going to continue to monitor the chat. I'm going to go off video, and we will see you back here in 15 minutes. Okay, that was just about 15 minutes, and I was looking at the chat before I started sharing again. Holy cow, we have a lot of inspecting. The top one, that's what really stood out to me. Rebecca, Sarah, anybody want to come off mute and give us kind of your feedback on, I think it was maybe Jackie that said, I didn't think based on the words that this was me, but I'll learn more. Anybody want to share? Organizing, innovating, developing others. Fantastic.
I don't have much to share past that, but I'm definitely looking forward to checking out the videos to kind of get a little bit more context behind the terms. If this isn't who I thought I aligned with, maybe I need to kind of like check out what I might have as abilities.
I love that. I love that. I think, yes, I think sometimes when you see the word just at first glance, it's like, yeah, that's not really me. But when you do learn more, and Rebecca's going to take us through all of that, the resources and things like that, that will really not only just the videos, but the one pagers too that can help give more definition and more example to what all the 10 agilities are. Does anybody else have any other reflections? I will say mine have changed just in the 2 years that I've been with the foundation. I was always developing others. And then this past year, it turned more to serving and caring. So serving and caring and developing others switched. But I was thinking about some of the things in my personal life. I've got aging parents and I've got middle school daughters. I'm absolutely leaning more into my serving and caring right now. So it definitely makes sense for this season of life. So I'm really excited for all of you to learn more about your agilities. With that, I am going to turn it over to my friend and colleague, Rebecca Kessler, and she's going to walk us through some of our resources. And I'm really interested and excited for you to learn more about these and how you can use them with the individuals that you serve.
Thanks, Kristie. So at the foundation, we have a suite of Career Explorer tools. There are several to choose and work from. You can use them in any order, but we have found that the best way to teach people how to interact with them is through these simulated user experiences. So today you're going to meet two of our fictional characters. The purpose of this time is to be able to understand what the purpose of each Career Explorer tool is, and then learn just a little bit about how to interact with them. So with that, we'll start with Mr. Eddie. Eddie is a 16-year-old that lives in the Kansas City area. His high school is starting to discuss career and college planning, and he's starting to feel a little overwhelmed. His parents immigrated to the United States, and they don't know how to help him navigate the workforce or his educational needs. They just didn't go to school here, so they don't have that experience. He feels really overwhelmed and is not sure where to start. Luckily, he has someone like you in his life that told him to take the Agile Work Profiler. So through this process, he can discover his own top agilities like you just did. Once he does that, he's able to learn more about his results and dig into some of that information. So at the end of your Agile Work Profiler results, there were videos that showed up with each agility. These ones are really short, brief synopsises of each agility and where they might be used in the career field, as well as some common terms that are really helpful to include in cover letters, resumes, and in interviews. Whenever we click read more, there is additional information that can tell us how to develop that agility. These are really helpful for digging a little bit deeper. So through that process, Eddie learns that his top agilities are working with information. Oh, that went away for me. 1 second. Are working with information, judging and estimating, and managing. So with that information, he feels more empowered to start making some decisions. He's going to transfer into the Occupation Explorer, where he can explore up to the 1,000 jobs that are in our economy. So with that, the tiles across the top, he can click and select into. So he selects his top agility to start with of working with information. The word cloud is active, so all of those terms are actual clickable links that give you pop-ups with more information. You can also filter by top wages with the slide bar on the right-hand side so that we can increase or decrease depending on like maybe what area we're looking for or what type of wage we're looking for. So with that information, he discovers that he's really interested in the position of a budget analyst, a political scientist, and an industrial production manager. But where does he go with that information? Well, he knows that budget analyst sounds the most relevant to what he would like to do, but maybe there's some other occupations that are similar. So he's going to switch into another tool. He's going to take a look at the Agilities comparison tool. This tool is really helpful because we can compare up to 5 occupations at one time. So he clicks in and he puts budget analyst and then financial investment advisor and financial examiner. All of those share his top agility, and he's able to use his other 2 agilities that are in his top of judging and estimating and managing, and he discovers that budget analyst and financial investment advisor all share his top 3 agilities in their top 5, which feels like those would be relevant careers for him to explore further as he looks into educational opportunities. Now we're going to switch gears and meet Helen. Helen is a 43-year-old stay-at-home mom. She wants to re-enter the workforce, but she's not quite sure how to do that. She has an undergraduate degree in graphic design, but her skills are currently not up to date, so she might be looking for a new line of work. She starts by taking the Agile Work Profiler and discovers that her top agilities are managing, serving and caring, and innovating. And like Kristie said, this season of life for her really makes sense for those top 3. She's been managing her kids' schedules and what needs to go on with the home, serving and caring for everyone in her life. With that information, she's empowered to switch into the Opportunity Explorer. The Opportunity Explorer helps us to learn about the economic demand for occupations, so we can see a 1-year forecast for which occupations might be growing the fastest. Again, the agility tiles across the top are interactive, so we can click onto any of those, and we can use the table at the bottom of the tool to search through all the occupations that share that top agility. We can see information about the occupation's income level, their average wage, and their education level. So she's interested in a few occupations, from first-line supervisor of office and administrative support workers and a human resource specialist. From that, she's going to transfer into another tool. She's going to use one more. She's going to use the occupation decoder. This tool is really helpful for breaking down the types of work tasks that might be done during an occupation or during a job. So she's going to search in this tool for human resource specialist, where she's going to be able to see a summary description with the average education, income levels, work duties, as well as be able to compare how the income level and how the education compare to all jobs in the workforce. So when she does that, we can see, oh, and a special note about this tool, there's a little yellow square on the left-hand side. Once we have selected a job, we need to click that to activate the tool. So when she does that, she can see that this job includes employment specialists who screen, recruit, interview, and place workers. That sounds like that's probably of high interest to her. So she's going to take that information and switch to our last tool, the Education Explorer. The Education Explorer has over 6,000 institutions built into it to search from colleges to trade schools. When she's thinking about using this tool, she wants to narrow down the focus to the Kansas City area where she's from, and she needs to achieve a business degree. So when she does that and she narrows down those filters, she's able to search through a few different universities. She starts with the Metropolitan Community College, but she recognizes that as a community college, it's not going to earn her the bachelor's degree that she's wanting, so she searches another nearby university. She looks at the University of Missouri, Kansas City. This feels like a good fit, but their graduation rate is 57%, and she just wants a little bit better odds than that. And so right close by is Rockhurst University. Rockhurst University has a 74% graduation rate, so that feels like a better fit for her. Something else that's important about this tool is that in the specializing filter, it's on the right-hand side near the top, we can search HBCUs and tribal colleges. So if that's something that's important to you or the people that you serve, that's built into this tool as well. And then we have a lovely video for you to watch later about the power of using Agilities in your mentorship. So whether that's with students, your own children, or other communities that you serve, mentoring using the Agilities is really empowering. I've seen with all age ranges, I taught first to high school and then postgraduate special education students, helping people name the value that they have. It's like your value is inherent, but understanding how to name what that value is and share that with other people and let them connect what value you bring them is what gives us that expanded opportunity in the workforce. We have a lot of additional free tools for you to use. So these are really helpful as you transition to how do I focus this type of energy into middle school students or high school students or postgraduate students. So we're going to start with the Agility career videos. These are all 2 to 3 minutes each. Every single Agility has somewhere between 9 and 15 videos that go into different industries, different occupations. And it's just a snapshot of it's just a snapshot of occupations that students might not have already previously had access to. So we know the jobs that we see every day in our community, and that varies by community. But being able to expand that viewpoint is really helpful for students. Next, we've got Agile XP. These are 2 different experiences, but students can do both. So it's an individual journey, and there are 10 to 15-minute activities that are sent to students daily. It can be emailed or texted, but there is Career Me, which helps students develop the agility advantage. So understanding growth mindset, market knowledge, and skills mastery. And then there's also Network Me. So Network Me helps us grow and diversify our personal networks. That's a really strong skill that Kristie's going to talk about a little bit later on as well. Next, we have Draw Your Future with Agilities. Kristie and I just went through training last week to be Draw Your Future Agility facilitators, and that's a really fun experience. Something that's really powerful about this opportunity is to be able to draw and see what you want in your future life and then develop the goals and steps to get you there. It really puts you in this headspace of being able to achieve those goals. So sometimes those goals swirl around in our head, and just getting pen to paper and color to paper can really help through that process. So we actually have 2 different options for you with this one. There's a facilitated group activity where we can come, or a trained agility facilitator can come and do the Draw Your Future map. So it can be with large groups of students, faculty and staff, organizations within your site. We can do that process as an organization or to support individuals. And then online on agilities.org is also our individual platform. So Patty, who's the developer, there's step-by-step videos for every step of the way to be able to do that on your own. The next thing that we have is the Abilities to Agilities game. This one is so much fun for middle school and high school students. It's a great fit for them with relevant scenarios and experiences. But it's a Jeopardy style board, and there's 4 to 5 different gameplay options, so you could play it a different way every time. But the scenarios show up, and it helps students be able to expand the way that they view their skill sets across the 10 agilities. So for students that might feel like, oh, I don't really know what to do, this really helps get them into that pattern of thinking about relying on their different agility skills to navigate different situations.
And Rebecca, just to follow up on this one, abilities to agilities, you can see the sample scenario that you need to study for a final exam. Everybody's going to approach that differently. So those examples of how someone was selling and communicating might attack studying for a final exam versus someone like many of you that are inspecting how you might approach that. I think it's really cool for students to see that it all gets done. Everybody studies for the final exam, but they may go about it differently. And no way is completely right and no way is completely wrong. It's just different. And I really think it helps in that teamwork and team building space. That's been really fun. Okay, so here's a fun girl. She's contemplating. She said, I know my agilities. I know what I like to do and I know what I'm good at. So I know how the skills I need to get a job, but I feel like I'm missing a piece of the puzzle. And when Sarah introduced Rebecca, she mentioned her degree in math. I did not get a degree in math. I have a little bit of economics, but this is a simple equation that I think all of us can relate to as far as math is concerned. When we have career literacy and network strength, we are creating employment empowered people. So the DeBruce Foundation's recent research with 16,000 working age Americans and a nationally represented group found the secret sauce to being employment empowered. And it's to have high career literacy and more network strength. And this research really affirmed that network strength accelerates the power of career literacy in all working age Americans. And having that diverse and deep connection that expands career options for individuals. And it's especially when you're aware and affirmed of your strengths and your interests. So let's take a step back and let's define what's career literacy. I think most of us know that. It really focuses on that vision for your career and the self-awareness of your skills and your interest, your capacity to communicate, the professional value that you have. You know how to search for jobs and you have those skills to do so. And you have the capability to explore multiple career pathways. The next, network strength, is a collection of individuals. So do you have a diverse connection of groups? Do those span different industries, different education levels, different social experiences? And it's a strong network will have a high level of supportiveness. So I think about growing up in a rural community, and when we're talking about rural education, sometimes I think there's a couple myths here. One, your communities might not be big, and so what do I do if I have a limited pool? I would say, you know, I'm a product of rural communities, and the men and women that really spoke into me at a young age was really important. And I was sharing with Rebecca, my first 3 employers were from my hometown, all in different industries, and they didn't know me prior to applying for the job, but we had a connection, we had something in common, and I could build out that network. Also, I think there's some myths with just even the word network. Maybe it seems a little prescribed and students may be a little intimidated by the word network or networking or going to build a network. When in reality, especially in smaller communities, that could be your parents' friends, the people you go to church with. Maybe those are your teachers and your organization leaders. I was in 4-H and FFA or scouting, anything like that. Those mentors, they are your network. It doesn't just mean someone you got a business card from. So networking and building network strength happens often and happens early. Sometimes you just have to have that light bulb moment of, oh my gosh, he or she is really part of my network. And I can turn to them when I need help or guidance or maybe some direction as I grow. So what did our study find about employment empowerment? And the research shows, not surprisingly, that people that are employment empowered are 35% or consider 35% more jobs outside their current career path. 18% more likely to be currently employed, and on average make approximately $30,000 more in annual earnings when compared to those who are employment challenged or have low career literacy and low network strength. Some other characteristics of employment empowered individuals are that they have higher income and better benefits. They have influence over their work conditions. They have an accumulation of savings, or creating a savings is important to them. They have confidence in exploring more careers or careers outside their current work. And they're at lower risk of unemployment. And I would also add underemployment to that as well. And with the new research that we released last week, you may wonder how many people are employment empowered in America. And we see that only 1 in 3 working age Americans are employment empowered. So, which means 2/3, again, I like simple math, Rebecca, which means 2/3 or far too many Americans, particularly those that are marginalized in the economy, are at considerable risk. And this presents us with another collective challenge. So when we put this all together, we look at career literacy and network strength, we all play a role in this. So our resources, the Agilities, the Agile Work Profiler, the Career Explorer tools, and the other resources that Rebecca talked about, all feed into career literacy. The work that you're doing as well in your schools, in your organizations, in your communities, help this as well. But where we can really use your help, especially as we think about rural communities as part of our conversation today, but in any community, is to help individuals build that network strength and help them diversify that, to grow that network and really leverage it to help people become employment empowered. I think before we go into implementation ideas, Rebecca, I think there was a question. Okay, I think you answered it in the chat about how much does this cost? So I'm going to turn it over to you, Rebecca, so you can answer that and you can talk about more resources. So that's just perfectly. Thank you.
I know, that was great, Jackie. Thank you. So there is not a cost associated with any of these tools right now. Everything is live on our website. We're also going to discuss a little bit if there's certain things that you would like access to, where to get those, and how to find those. So as we think about implementation ideas, I'm going to share with you a slide that's kind of your one-stop shop for lots of things that we have shared about and some more as well. So on agilities.org, you'll find the Agile Work Profiler, all the Career Explorer tools, access to Agile XP, all of those videos that I discussed, and then as well the self-guided videos for Draw Your Future with Agilities. So all of those are live on our website. If you wanted to email us at info@debruce.org, you can get access for us to connect you to a facilitated group option for Draw Your Future with Agilities, as well as the Abilities to Agilities online game. On DeBruce.org and Agilities.org, they're in somewhere on both places, are some of these PDF documents. So leveraging your agilities really helps to be able to distinguish the difference between each of the 10 agilities, as well as some experiences that you might have had or experiences that you haven't thought about that are connected to workforce skills that you can share with others. There's also going to be access to the employment empowerment study. That is really helpful to dig into how that research was conducted, what the implications of that is, and then some ways that you can serve your community with that information. And then our mission report is also going to be available to you. This is a collection of all of the work that we've done over the past 5 years. And so the way that we have impacted the community, the types of studies and research we've invested into, the way our tools have evolved, things like that. Down at the bottom, Kristie's going to talk a little bit later about some additional training options that you'll have available to you through DeBruce.org. Something that is brand new are our educator welcome kits. So we have 2 kits currently available. The one on the left-hand side is the Agilities for Elementary Welcome Kit. This is built for kindergarten to 6th grade. So this includes a Learning Your Agilities one-pager. This is language that is more appropriate to their level, as well as experiences that they would be having in school during doing their own type of work. There's also the Agilities one-pagers, again, fit for their language. These ones have suggestions for how they can activate and grow their agilities in school, work, or school, home, and in their community. We have created an agility classroom, so how we set up the environment to really promote students understanding their value and being able to discuss it. Agility vocabulary development. getting them to be able to use those words where it's very comfortable for them. The more that they use those words, see those words, and identify experiences using these terms helps them be able to discuss it later on. And then agility goal setting cards. There's a facilitation guide for those cards, as well as the printable cards themselves to be able to use those in the classroom. Then on the right-hand side is the Agilities for High School and Beyond Welcome Kit. So this is built for 9th grade and beyond, so up through college. There's a little bit of a difference in this kit because it's more framed around what those students would be experiencing and what their needs are. So there's an Agile Work Profiler facilitation guide, how we help students take that and then the implications further of helping them activate their agilities. There's the Leveraging Your Agilities one-pager, which is the one that's built for adult usage as well. Agilities one-pagers, those are the same ones that you get whenever you take the Agile Work Profiler, but they're all together in one spot. So those have ways to grow each agility as well as terms to use in cover letters, resumes, and interviews. There is a Creating an Agility Classroom guide. This one is just a little bit different based on the age level. An Agilities walk activity. This is a great way to introduce the agilities, review the agilities, be able to see them in different lights. And then as well as the agility goal setting cards. So the right-hand side is K6, left-hand side is 9 and beyond. If you teach middle school, there is more coming. But what I would say is if you are a 6-8 teacher, like I taught middle school for several years, I would download both because there's going to be a little bit in each one that you're going to want. The nice thing about these right now is that they are on agilities.org, free for download. They just download as PDFs and you can print whatever you need.
And that's what I love about these new resources, Rebecca. And when she talks about these being new, these are new as of this summer. So we're really excited about this because these are some tools that you can start using tomorrow if you want to. And they're really great ways to integrate in with your current curriculum and really start building that agilities language and that agilities culture in a classroom or on a team as well. So as we think about additional training, guess what, you guys? You've already done some of it just by coming to our session. You've kind of done both of these. But if you like what you hear, if you think this is interesting and that other people in your organization, in your district, other people in the profession, let them know that we have free lunch and learn sessions on Tuesdays. And multiple times a month, we have the agility tour, which is, like I said, it's an hour. It's a little bit shorter than what we've done today. And we talk about the agilities, the career explorer tools. We'll do that walk that Rebecca did with us. And we talk about other resources. When we go to activating the agilities, we'll do an overview of the agilities, but then we're going to talk more about employment empowerment. We're going to talk about layering those skills framework as well. You can check both of those off your list because we combined them both for our session today. So congratulations. If you're really interested and you want to incorporate this into your classroom, your district, your organization, come join us for agility coach training. I feel like I'm one of those commercials that says it's free, it's free, it's free. Agility coach training, it's free to attend. It's here in person in Kansas City at the DeBruce Foundation. We really don't take more than about 25 people for the 2-day event and workshop, because we know it's really important for that networking and for that in-depth training that takes place. So you'll not only learn more about the agilities and the agility advantage, you'll take a deeper dive into the career explorer tools and what coaching looks like with the agilities. You also get to do Draw Your Future, which is super fun. It's highly interactive. It's a lot of fun. Our integration specialist, Cindy Schleckebeer, does a fabulous job of facilitating that training, and I think you'll find it a lot of fun. I want to hit again on some research and some reports. Again, and Rebecca had mentioned this earlier, but If you're interested in learning more about the employment empowerment research and that driving question of how should one be prepared to navigate, this is what I think is important, the inevitable career transitions across a lifetime. Go to our website and download that. It's a PDF. I think it's really, really helpful for those of you that are really working in the space of career literacy, and especially career literacy and network strength. This research validates the work that you do every day. So as you work with funders, sponsors, investors, people that you just want to promote your programs to, this research again can help build up the work that you do. Again, if you want to learn more about the foundation and the last 5 years of our work in programs and products, research, and partnerships, feel free to look at that mission report as well. And again, I told you we were going to have information hot off the press, and we do. As of last week, we also commissioned more extensive research on youth. And the findings have been incorporated into a report we call How to Talk with Youth About Careers. So this is a free report. It was released last week, and it's the culmination of research conducted by GQR. And we wanted to gain insights from youth ages 16 to 24, as well as their parents and influencers of young people across the United States. This is a practical tool for all who are working to help expand career pathways for young people. I think the findings are very, very interesting on this one. So we could spend a whole nother session talking about that, Sarah, but we won't. But you can go to our website and you can download that now. It's available. One of the discoveries that I found the most fascinating from this report is the high level of confidence that many young people have in their ability to succeed in careers. And according to the study, an astonishing 90% of those surveyed believe that they can achieve their career goals. And it's certainly counterintuitive to what we're hearing in the news, but I think it's far more encouraging. We know that this is a collective effort in expanding career pathways for individuals and groups that we serve, and it's important for all of us. So thank you for being champions of this work. Thank you for coming to our session today. If you're interested in learning more about the foundation, about the research and insights, about the products that we have, check us out on any social media. Follow us on any of the social media platforms. If you have a general question, the info@debruce.org always works well. But if you want to talk specifics with Rebecca or with me, our email addresses are there as well. And with that, I say thank you. And I love this, Sarah Moore. You are speaking to my people because I'm a 4-H'er. I did show cattle, my family farms. And so I love these images. I proudly wore blue corduroy. So I feel like your team was just really speaking to me. And I know this is the general template, but this has been a lot of fun. And listening to the other speakers today really focus in on rural education and some of the trends that we're seeing, I think is really, really cool. And I appreciate and applaud the work that you all did to make this Equity Summit happen.